What if I gave you a challenge today? For the next 24 hours, I want you to count every red car you see. Sounds simple enough, right? Now here's the funny thing. The moment you decide to look for red cars, you'll suddenly start seeing them everywhere. And it's not because more red cars magically appeared, and it's not because the universe delivered a fleet of red cars to your neighborhood. They were already there. You just started paying attention. Now, let's try a different experiment. What if instead of looking for red cars, you started looking for evidence that your manifestations were already unfolding? Evidence that things are working in your favor. Evidence that opportunities are showing up. Evidence that you're more supported than you realize. Would you start seeing that everywhere too? And if you did, would that be manifestation? Would it be coincidence? Would it be confirmation bias? Or does it even matter? Because one of the questions I hear most often is, why does manifestation seem to work for some people, but not for others? It's a fair question. Some people swear manifestation has changed their life, and others have vision boarded, journaled, affirmed, and visualized until they're blue in the face and feel like nothing has absolutely changed. So today, let's have a conversation that just might change the way you think about manifestation. Welcome to the Manifestation and Money Podcast, the show where we tackle the taboo topics of money and manifestation. I'm your host, Jenny Schultz, former 9-to-5 grinder who ditched the status quo and went all in on creating a life I love. Yes, I use manifestation. Yes, I took action. And yes, I created a 7-figure net worth before turning 40. Every week, I'll bring you inspiring stories with money mavens and manifestation masters. From learning how to make more, save more, and grow your wealth to unlocking the power of manifesting your dream life. I am so excited to play in this space with you. Let's jump into creating a life you love. Hey friends, welcome back to the Manifestation and Money Podcast. I want to start this podcast today by asking you this. Have you ever noticed that manifestation seems to work incredibly well for some people and not for others? You hear stories about someone landing their dream job or meeting their soulmate, maybe manifesting a dream home, receiving unexpected money, and meanwhile somebody else is doing all the same things. They're journaling, they're visualizing, they're saying affirmations, and they're making vision boards, yet they feel like nothing is happening. So what gives? Is manifestation real? Is it luck? Is it a coincidence? Do some people simply have a special gift? Today, I want to explore why manifestation appears to work for some people and not for others. And I think the answer might surprise you, because as much as I love to play around with manifestations and tools and techniques, I don't believe that manifestation has nearly as much to do with like vision boards or affirmations as people think. Inside Manifestation Playground, I like to give our members simple games because games are a fun way for us to reinforce our belief and to collect evidence. One of the evidence games we play is to see if things are working in your favor. That's it. There's no scripting, no affirmations. We simply spend the day collecting evidence. So maybe someone lets you merge in front of you in traffic, or maybe you find a great parking spot, or maybe an opportunity lands in your inbox. Maybe you find a $20 bill in an old jacket. All these little things, like maybe a meeting gets canceled and you unexpectedly get your afternoon back and can say yes to that coffee date with your friends. The goal isn't to manifest anything. The goal is simply to notice. And something fascinating happens when you play this game. You suddenly start seeing the evidence and finding the evidence everywhere. And it's not because by playing this game, suddenly your life has changed, but your attention has changed. So let's talk about our brains here for a moment, because our brains are truly incredible. The human brain is essentially a gigantic search engine. It does, however, have a limitation. It can't focus on everything, and thank goodness, because at any given moment, there are thousands of things happening around you, and you wouldn't want to pay attention to everything. So your brain filters it. It decides what is important to you, and then it shows you more of that. Think about when you buy a new vehicle or your friend buys a new vehicle. Suddenly you start seeing that vehicle everywhere. And it's not that that car was magically manifested into existence from that moment on. It was always there. Your brain has just started paying attention to it now. So manifestation often works in a similar way. If you believe that opportunities are available to you, you'll notice opportunities. If you believe money is available, you'll notice possibilities. If you believe good things happen to you, you'll start collecting evidence to support that belief. And here's where it gets interesting and can also get slightly tangled up. The opposite of that is also true. And not everyone likes to hear that because that points the pointer back to us, back to the individual, and that individual taking ownership of what they're paying attention to. So imagine two people. Both want to improve their finances. Person A believes nothing ever works out for me. Making money is hard. Other people get lucky. I've tried manifestation before and it didn't work for me. Person B believes there are opportunities all around me. I don't know how yet, but I am open. Things can work out for me. Let's see what happens. And here's what I find fascinating. Both of those people will likely find evidence supporting what they already believe. Person A notices every setback, every rejection, every bill, every obstacle. And person B notices every possibility, every introduction, every new idea, every open door. Technically, they're both living in the same world, but they're collecting different evidence, and therefore they're receiving different outcomes. So is it manifestation or is it confirmation bias? And this is where often people get hung up. Some people hear stories about manifestation and immediately say, that's just confirmation bias. And maybe that's true. But what if that's not a bad thing? What if it's like a placebo effect, where your expectations of what the results will be dictate the reality that you experience? And if we take that thought even further, then we could question if the placebo effect is actually manifestation at play. Regardless of what is what, if your brain is consistently filtering your reality anyway, wouldn't you rather to direct that filter towards possibility instead of problems? I know I do. And it doesn't matter whether you call it manifestation, mindset, expectation, psychology, energy, faith, optimism, or yes, confirmation bias, the result is often the same. You begin taking different actions, you notice different opportunities, you make different decisions, and eventually your life starts reflecting those choices. When I think back to that lake property that we purchased, when I first started scripting about it, I wasn't just sitting around waiting for a cottage to magically fall from the sky. I was getting clear, really clear about what we wanted. How did I want the place to feel? What would life look like there? And as I repeatedly focused on that vision, opportunities that previously may have gone unnoticed suddenly stood out for me. Conversations were had. People forwarded me listings. There were the synchronicity of ideas, timing, connections. Now, was that manifestation? Was that focus? Was that coincidence? I don't know. Maybe it was all of the above. What I do know is that the clarity in my mind changed what I paid attention to, and what I paid attention to influenced what I did next. So if I didn't have clarity and the intent to buy a lake property, I can guarantee you I probably wouldn't have said yes to viewing a lake property in the dead of winter like I had done. So after years of studying manifestation and talking with people who swear by it, and with people who think that it's nonsense, I have noticed something. The people who get results tend to have one thing in common. They get clear about what they want. They don't just accept the status quo limitations. They expect things to be possible, not guaranteed, just possible. And now there's a huge difference. They aren't demanding proof. They're just looking for evidence. They aren't obsessing over timelines. They're moving forward and staying open to possibility, staying open to the pathways that present themselves. They aren't focused on why something can't happen. They're curious about how it might happen and therefore seeing the opportunities. And that openness changes everything. So here's a challenge I have for you this week if you want to play along. I want you to become an evidence collector. Every evening, ask yourself, what worked in my favor today? What unexpected support showed up? What opportunities appeared? What went better than expected? And just write down 3 things. Just 3. Don't worry about labeling it manifestation or second guessing yourself whether that was actually just a coincidence. We're just collecting the evidence of things that are working out in your favor. Because if manifestation works the way many people believe it does, you'll start attracting more reasons to believe. And if manifestation is simply a matter of attention and psychology, you'll be creating a more powerful experience of life. And honestly, I think that is a win either way. Whether you believe manifestation is universal law, psychology, energy, coincidence, or some combination of all 4, one thing is certain. The things that you consistently focus on tend to expand your awareness. This week, pay attention to what you're paying attention to, and you might be surprised by the evidence that you start finding. And who knows? Maybe manifestation has been working for you all along, but you've just been collecting the wrong evidence. So cheers to keeping life playful and full of possibility. I'll catch you here next week. Thanks for listening. If today ignited a spark within you, come play with us inside Manifestation Playground on School. You can join for free and dive into the Manifestation Vault right away. Come say hi to me and the other amazing members in the welcome thread, or just lurk and soak it all in. Both are totally welcome. Grab your spot at manifestationplayground.ca. I'll see you inside. Cheers to creating a life you love.